A man's house is not a house, it's a home. God, bloody hell, that's beautiful. Castle, an Australian film released in 1997 and is directed by Rob Sitch, who has also directed such films like Any Questions for Ben and The Dish. And this film is starring Michael Keaton, Anne Tenay, Stephen Curry, Anthony Simcoe, Sophie Lee, Wayne Hope, and little Eric Bana shows up in there too. He's so adorable. And the reason why we're talking about The Castle today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my contributors and supporters of this channel, James Philbrook. Thank you very much for your recommendation. We're looking at all of your recommendations this week, but if any of you also want to be like James and help support me and contribute to this channel, you can select the PayPal link that is on the homepage of my YouTube channel and then send me a donation with your recommendation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out, just like what I did with James here. And James, this film, just watching it, it was a nice, lovely film. It was tugged at your heartstrings. It was a nice feel-good movie, but really the star of this whole experience came when I was researching this and finding out that this film was shot in 11 days, only 11 frickin' days, with a budget of $50,000, and it grossed over 10 million. Like, that's incredible. And it really goes to show the heart of this movie and how it just reached so many different working class people, because they all went out to go see this frickin' thing. And that just puts an even bigger smile on my face. I already had one with this movie, but in hearing that this is one of the greatest Australian films ever made, I mean, that's just so frickin' impressive, and good on it for doing so. The Kerrigan family live in this house next to the airport over in Australia. And they're a lovely folk, not bothering anyone, always have a positive attitude, and love their home that they're living in. But one day they are served notice that the airport is looking to expand and are looking to take over the land that their house is built on and give them a nice sizable check for their troubles. Well, Daryl Kerrigan is a man of principles, and he loves this house so frickin' much that it doesn't matter how much money they throw at him, he is not leaving, because this house is his home and every man's home is his castle. So the entire movie is the Kerrigan family fighting the system, fighting this airport, this big major corporation trying to take over and impose themselves into this family's life. And it's a great duality of this major corporation. Well, they're trying to better the world by expanding the airport. And if they expand the airport, they can increase travel, they can increase product delivery and products shipping out. And it would kind of make sense that they would take over those houses. It's just a small 4-house little community right next to their property. You would think that anyone would just take the money and then go find a house elsewhere. And hell, I was finding myself thinking that. Why wasn't the Kerrigan family taking the money, even when they increased it by $25,000? Why don't they just take it and then go out to their second home, their condo that they have, build up that place all brand new and looking very nice, and then just live there? Why don't you just do that? But there is a prideful situation in here that this house that they have lived in their entire lives, that they have worked on, or I guess are working on currently right now. You look around this house and there are a lot of unfinished projects, but projects started nonetheless, damn it. But that's their home, and you can't come in and just make people move and take their homes away, even though, I mean, I'm living here in America, that's what we do all the frickin' time. It's the story about this family who is fighting back against this big corporation who has all the big-time lawyers, who's able to throw out a whole bunch of legal jargon at the judge and jury and at their lawyers to confuse them so that they can get whatever they want. And I'll be honest, watching this movie almost the entire time, I'm sitting there thinking, why is this family just not taking the check? This house that you're living in, it's kind of a dump. You have a whole bunch of people living in there. You don't have a lot of space. It's not the most grandiose thing. They're giving you $100,000 in total. I mean, gosh, if I was given $100,000, I may up and leave too and go find a place. But then, as you get to that climax and as you get to the good lawyer delivering their closing statement at the hearing, I sat back and my mindset was changed. This movie did what it set out to do, and it changed your mindset of, no, middle-class working people, everyone deserves, has the right to their home, and regardless of what other big federal corporations want to do with their land and their property, you can't impose that on someone else's property while they're still here, while they're still living. That's not right. That's not just. Kudos on this movie. I don't know if I would have held out like Daryl did, but gosh, he's such a positive guy. He's such a great guy. There's nothing terrible about him. There's not a bad bone in his body. There's not a bad bone in any of these people's families' bodies. Even the son who is locked up in jail, he's still a good lad. And the first lawyer that they get, bless his little heart, he just does like small claim stuff. He doesn't do all this federal shit with houses and land property and all that crap. So during that first hearing, that's one of the best courtroom scenes I have ever seen, where the lawyer doesn't really know what he's talking about or know what sections of the law to cite. So he's just there talking about, Your Honor, it's the vibe. It's the vibe of the thing. Your Honor, what they're doing, it goes against the law. Okay, what section of the law? Well, you know, the whole thing. It's kind of, it's the whole vibe. It's the whole vibe of the law. I've never heard that before in a court like that. It's the whole vibe of the law that they're breaking. It's the vibe. And the fact that Daryl's sitting there thinking that he's doing a great job, just, it makes you go, oh, honey, he is not, dear, sorry. But then when you get to that final hearing with the actual lawyer who knows what he's doing, that is a nice, powerful scene. And a mature scene. We're not getting any over-the-top acting with the court system. No, they're just there, they're delivering their statements, then they move on to the decision. It's not melodramatic like Law and Order or something like that. This movie was such a delight. It ended up being a tremendous delight for me, and I could feel my mindset shift, and any film that is able to shift my mindset, I absolutely enjoy and I definitely respect. Now, to go back to the beginning of this film, when it was the youngest son coming out saying, "This is my story," as the movie went along, I'm thinking, no, it's not your story. You're narrating it, but this is not your story. This is your dad's story. This is Daryl's story. We don't need to have you going out there saying, "This is my story." The Castle was an absolute delight. I love a movie that makes me think and change my position on some moral standing or political standing. I really enjoyed this film. I was surprised. This is one of the biggest surprises I've ever had on this channel. So thank you very much, James, for recommending this film. I had a great time. I'm going to give The Castle 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I like it a lot.
So guys, if you've seen The Castle, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you all the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.